This is the Orioles POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Baltimore Orioles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Couldn't ask for a better home opener in terms of theatrics, atmosphere, everything down at Camden Yards. Hello, welcome to the Locked On Orioles podcast, the POSTCAST. My name is Luke Slaybaugh. I am your post-game host for every game this season. Connor Newcomb still runs the daily show 5 days a week. You will still get your regular Locked On Orioles podcast, and I fill in the gaps every night after a game, usually immediately after the game. Today, a little bit different as the game time got pushed earlier. I had some prior commitments. The Orioles were able to avoid any severe weather, and the game was played regularly as scheduled, just 30 minutes prior to first pitch. And I am just now getting to the studio right now. So gave you guys some time to get home after tailgating, after partying, after celebrating with the Orioles, after this 8-5 win over the Boston Red Sox here on Monday, the home opener. Thanks again for listening on the Locked On Podcast Network, wherever you get your podcasts for free, and for watching on YouTube. I see some of you all filing in right now. I know it's a little bit of a late start, but thank you for spending your evening with me. Watch the whole game and watch the opening day ceremonies beforehand. Just a beautiful atmosphere over there in Baltimore. Them rolling out the orange carpet, that tradition sticks. I've said it before to my friends, and I'll say it here. Just beautiful. That orange really does pop. And 30 minutes to first pitch, the crowd was filing into Camden Yards, but giving huge ovations to Westberg, to Adley, to Tyler O'Neill, the newcomer who had a big day, as well as Cedric Mullins entering his contract here, the elder statesman for the Baltimore Orioles, all playing huge roles in this 8-5 win. Let me know what you think. Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel and this podcast, and leave some comments down below if you're watching on YouTube. I do read the comment section, and I am active down there, especially after wins. So let me know if you have any feedback. I am listening. I'm talking to my friends at Locked On, seeing what all we can do to make this show better and to give you the experience you deserve, that we all deserve, I suppose, as we celebrate this win. And hopefully many more to come as the Orioles improved to 3-2 after a win over the Red Sox. Offense clicking as per usual. However, the one thing that stood out was the bullpen, and you best believe we'll be talking about it tomorrow.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Looking at the box score and just looking at the final on MLB.com and seeing 8-5, you wouldn't think that this game turned into a glorified battle of the bullpens, but for most of the game, it was. It was a very tightly contested 4-3 game where the Sox were inching their way back slowly, and every opportunity that the O's had to take this game and run away with it, they ended up either grounding into a double play or not converting. I think 3 double plays on the ground today. So it was incumbent upon left-hander Cade Povich to put together a lengthy outing, and he did not. He was inefficient the first 3 innings, got better as time rolled along, and he retired the final 6 batters he faced, but the first 3 innings was over 20 pitches per inning. He only finished 4 1/3, and we could tell at that moment it looked like we were in for a long day. It was up to the bullpen to stop any bleeding. And given the criticisms that I've read from multiple national columnists and you, the fans who are commenting here, that skeptical about GM Mike Elias and the front office's approach to restocking this pitching staff, replacing a Corbin Burns and filling out the bullpen after the struggles last year, and after the performance that was flimsy through the first 4 games up in Toronto. Yeah, it was scary to see Povich leave there in the top of the 5th. Boy, were we ever wrong. For this game and this game alone, we saw some really metal performance out of the bullpen, starting with Matt Bowman. Right-hander comes in after pitching the finale in Toronto, gets a quick fly out to center, gives up a single to Rob Refsnyder, who then steals a base, and then strikes out Trevor Story with a 91-mile-an-hour sinker high up. Seranthony Dominguez, the winning pitcher in this game, starts the year with a 1-0 record. He sets down the side, gets Christian Campbell looking at the knees, more like at the shins with a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. That is an aside. The home plate umpire, Chris Guccione, I think drew the temper of both teams with sort of those low strike calls, and the zone kind of expanded and descended throughout the course of this game. Jackson Holiday got called on a pretty low strike three. Seranthony Dominguez goes 1, 2, 3. And then Keegan Akin, who you'll see on the thumbnail of this video and this podcast again, gets a fly out to new right fielder just called up, Dylan Carlson. We'll talk about him in the next block. Strikes out Jaron Duran on 3 pitches, gets him to check swing on a high fastball, and then gets Rafael Devers swinging and missing on a changeup. Devers still hitless to open the year. I think that extends a huge 0 for over 18 or 19, 0 for 19 or so to start the year. Yennier Cano making up for some flimsy outings in Toronto, getting Alex Bregman, Willie Abreu, and then striking out Story again on a changeup in the dirt. Seranthony Dominguez, the winning pitcher, he improves to 1-0 on the year in this 8-5 win for the Orioles over the Boston Red Sox. Now, all of this could not be possible without an offense that has jump-started this team and started out with a 3-2 record. They are indispensable. In order for the Orioles to win this division and make an extended run in the playoffs, the bats have to continue to be hot. And they established the turning point first time at bat in this game.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
You could tell good things were brewing bottom of the first inning, as it is the home opener down at Camden Yards, with 3 straight singles to open the game, and Tyler O'Neill with an RBI. Cedric Mullins opening this thing wide open, giving the Orioles a 4-0 lead with a 2-run double. Night and day from yesterday in Toronto, the series finale up at the Rogers Center. The Orioles put the bat on the ball a lot in Toronto, had 9 hits to show for it, ended up going 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. What a difference a day makes, because in the first inning alone, they're 3 for their first 5, and they end the game 6-15 total with runners in scoring position. They do not win this game without the clutch hits of Cedric Tillman that really extended these innings, including the 8th inning in which Mullins had a 2-run single. Tyler O'Neill finished 4 of 4, which he's up now, I think, to 571 batting this season. Very flashy performance for him in his Orioles home debut. Great part about all this feast or famine offense that Connor has alluded to in the Daily Show. Yes, when they win, they score big. Thing that set them apart after hitting 10 home runs in their first 3 games. Orioles now score 8 runs, no home runs to show for it. Just clutch hitting. Hard hit balls hit on the screws, but gap-to-gap power. Tyler O'Neill going opposite field. Cedric Mullins coming up clutch with 2 strikes, avoiding double plays when they needed to. So, a good showing from the Orioles offense. Coming up in this next block, we'll award our player of the game. I'll give you a couple of hints and maybe guess down in the comments who you would like. Some improvements I would like to see out of Povich, and then some injury news. Unfortunately, a key cog of this Orioles lineup hits the IL, and his replacement came up post-haste and made a difference in today's game. And that's all coming up after this break. But first, make sure we get the right ad banner up there. This show is brought to you by FanDuel. Final 4 for the men coming up around the corner, and it's all 1 seeds. So if your bracket is busted just like mine, if you have lost money on this NCAA tournament, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Women's NCAA tournament action going on this evening. Hope you watched that as well. Seeing UConn and USC and some of those stars really tearing up the court. FanDuel is giving you the chance to get on this action like never before. Right now, new customers, not you seasoned decade veterans out there, but new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's 200 extra bucks to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories, and even those little prop bets on who's cutting down the nets. Is it Kelvin Sampson? Gotta be, right? With the defense they're playing. FanDuel app is simple to use. When you win, you get paid instantly. There are no shenanigans. And with tournament games happening so frequently, there is always something exciting to bet on. So enjoy this Final Four. Enjoy some basketball action. Visit FanDuel.com and get on the college hoops action all tournament long. Once again, this show brought to you by FanDuel. Many options for player of the game. We mentioned Tyler O'Neill going 4 for 4. That is incredible. Another great stretch. Love what he has been doing, hitting the ball to different fields, not striking out at the clip that he usually does. However, we'll give it to the elder statesman. We'll give it to the longest tenured Oriole. We're going to give it to a guy who just keeps hitting in moments that matter. Our player of the game is...
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Cedric Mullins, and the O's don't win this game without him. Again, two big two-run hits that extended innings for the Orioles. And with the performance of Povich and the performance of Bautista in the ninth, which I'm not even going to touch on today, I'll let Connor do that tomorrow, needed Mullins to win this game. One thing I'd like to see, and Jim Palmer alluded to this on the broadcast, good to see him back in the booth and here for the home opener, is the response after big innings. This hurt the Orioles a little bit in Toronto, and it came up again today after a 4-run first. The O's had a chance to step on the Red Sox throats and put this game away, and Cade Povich gave them momentum right back in the second. His final line, 4 1/3, 8 strikeouts, which is good because the stuff is playing. 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and 94 total pitches over those 4 1/3 innings. Retired the final 6 batters that he saw. Using that four-seam fastball at about a 41% clip, we saw some great movement and run on that fastball, and yet he never really could put the Red Sox away in the second and third. Some of it was good luck. Trevor Story had a really good bloop single in the third. Had some good run on the four-seam fastball, got Romy Gonzalez to end the third, but even that was, a 28-pitch inning, so he was really laboring. The fourth was his best inning and most efficient inning, 15 pitches in that fourth frame. A really good play from Ramon Urias, 5-3 put out, which was very good to see. The O's defense coming through in the clutch. And so, again, Povich did what he needed to do. The bullpen really picked him up. Some injury news to report. Colton Cowser hits the IL with a broken left thumb. If you watched the game Sunday, it's probably easy to see where that came up. He was sliding into first base on a routine ground out, was trying to beat it out. His left thumb kind of gets inside the baseline, and the pitcher stepped on it, making the play. In his stead, Dylan Carlson comes up, former Cardinals great, once a top 20, top 30 prospect in baseball, came up as an infielder. They did not have room for him. They ended up trading for Nolan Arenado, got a bunch of moral victories with him, and then Carlson could not find everyday playing time in the outfield, bounced around with Tampa Bay last year, and he got a chance to make his O's debut and do it in front of the great home fans at Camden Yards. He walked and later scored on Jackson Holliday's RBI single in the bottom of the eighth. Holliday looked really good in the field today, had that RBI hit. Jorge Mateo made up for a lackluster series in Toronto. He had a stolen base replacing Heston Kjerstad in the eighth inning. And one of the at-bats that impressed me the most was Kjerstad. He was put in a position today to fail when Brandon Hyde crafted that lineup and had him hitting fifth behind Mountcastle, going up against the lefty and Sean Newcomb. I'm sure Orioles fans were like, oh, this is not looking good. It's not great. And he did strike out looking his first 2 plate appearances. He started out 0 for 3 on the day. And then if you go back and look at his at-bat, his RBI single in the eighth, how he held his hands back and was able to pounce on that ball and take it the other way. It's the seasoned hitter out of Arkansas that I think the Orioles were getting in the draft. And if given regular at-bats, you could see more of that playing out against left-handed hitters. The way he was able to stay back on that foot and keep his hands back was really good to see. So I appreciate you listening again on the Locked On Podcast Network. This is the Postcast. I'm here as your post-game host for the next 6 months. Connor Newcomb gives you the daily show 5 days a week. He's churning out content, and he will deep dive into this game and a whole lot of other news and notes for the club as he follows them every day. As we look ahead to Wednesday, looks like Orioles are getting the Red Sox ace, or de facto ace. Left-hander Garrett Crochet was an all-star with the White Sox a season ago, came out of the University of Tennessee under head coach Tony Vitello's program. Did not win the College World Series with them, broke into the big leagues before that, but came from a highly esteemed program. And on the bump for the second time this season for your Baltimore Orioles, right-hander Zach Eflin. A very economical outing against the Blue Jays in that opening day win. Pitch to contact, got some ground balls. Would love to see more of that in front of the home crowd. Hope you all are staying safe in this weather, staying out of the rain and out of the thunderstorms. If you're getting them wherever you're listening or watching. Again, my name is Luke Slaybaugh. Want to thank you for listening these first 5 games. We've made it 5 days in a row of Orioles baseball. 3-2 record. Probably could have gotten one more in the win column, but I'm really excited about this season, spending it with you, sharing these wins with you, and consoling each other after the inevitable losses that you'll see at least 50 times this year. But I want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. I will see you Wednesday night. And until then, hope you have a wonderful evening.